Hi, I'm Chanel Simmons with No Tax and Financial Solutions, and I wanted to talk to you very briefly about 3 things to do when you lose your receipts. Tip number 1, and it's the easiest one, request another copy from your vendor. Simple is best, right? And when you happen to lose your receipt, invoice, or statement that will detail what exactly it was that you purchased, many times the easiest way to be able to prove the tax treatment for your transaction is to merely go back to the person who provided you the invoice, the statement, or receipt and see if they're able to get you another copy. So always try to go back. But if for some reason they're unable to retrieve those records, they state that those records are damaged or it's been some time and it's just not something that they can easily retrieve for you, try to see if you can either find an email, text, or a signed letter, contract, whatever the case may be, that would prove the transaction happened. Because, and for the reason that you're saying the transaction happened, because you need more detail many a times when it comes to taxes than merely just the bank statement or the credit card statement. Because all the bank statement and the credit card statement really shows is that a certain amount was paid on a certain date to a particular person. But what that bank transaction or credit card transaction or wire or transferring of crypto, whatever it may be, doesn't truly detail many of the time is what was the purpose of that transaction? Was this something that was personal? And if it was personal, how should it be treated for tax purposes? Was this something that was for business? Was this something for school? Was it a gift? And many a times what receipts, invoices, statements, etc., does is it provides that additional information. And if for some reason you lose that information, having an email, a text, or a signed letter, although that may not necessarily replace it, it's better than nothing. The best way when it comes to having that substitute information is if you can get that email, text, or signed letter to have a date, to be dated closer to the time of the transaction, right? But if for some reason you need to create it, something is always better than absolutely nothing. And then the last tip is to get other documentation to support the transaction. One way I can best to describe this would be, let's say you went on a trip, right? There's many reasons why people travel. Let's say for this purpose, for this example, the trip was a 3-day business conference, right? You use your card to go out, pay for the hotel, pay for all 3 meals while you're away, pay for any Ubers and Lyfts, or, for those of you who are ballers out there, sedan services that, you may be utilizing while you're away from home. And you go ahead and you have everything documented again on the credit cards or debit cards, bank cards, however you're paying for it, but you don't have any receipts, right? We don't ever remember to contact people. And there's certain things nowadays, people don't even provide receipts anymore, right? One of the ways that you can at least support the general purpose in the example that I gave, that you're away for a 3-day conference, is maybe that 3-day conference happens to have a program or an agenda that states on this day, this day, this day, from these times, this is why we're here, right? So now at this point, the primary reason why you were away and you were racking up all of these expenses was because of the conference. And that would be something that would help supplement your receipts and your documentations to prove the purpose. So many a times, even if we happen to have the receipts or the documentation, we still may need another document that's going to help to support the transaction to further prove the real reason behind why we incurred that deduction or that expense. So I hope you enjoyed the 3 ways that you can replace your receipts if you happen to lose them, or to further prove your expenses or deductions if you don't happen to have that information. If you ever want to get in contact with me directly, feel free to visit the website and I would love to have a consultation with you. Take care. Bye.